Welcome to Kino Quickly. I'm your host, Disco, and today I watched the Spongebob movie, Sponge on the Run. The Spongebob movie, Sponge on the Run, is a 2020 animated movie starring SpongeBob and Patrick as they search for SpongeBob's snail Gary as he has ran away from home, and it leads to them being on an epic adventure. This movie is a pretty good movie, I'd say, for both adults and children alike. There's a lot of jokes that'll make kids laugh. There's a lot of jokes that'll make adults laugh. I'd say the biggest problem is this movie is a little too colorful. It's a little hard on the eyes. It could have been sort of more monochromatic, so that way you're not so distracted by all the movement and colors in the movie. But I understand it's for kids, but also I don't think kids should be treated like animals and just be subjected to bright lights and colors and movement with no real substance. But thankfully this movie has substance to balance out the sort of visual cacophony of sort of the colors and movement going on screen. Sponge on the Run is not a traditional sequel to the last two SpongeBob movies. It's sort of its own standalone adventure. I had gone into this thinking it was part of a trilogy, but there's really no connection between the last two SpongeBob movies, which I'm a big fan of the last two SpongeBob movies, and I was very excited to see how the trilogy would be wrapped up in this third installment, but realizing that this is more of a spin-off and not tied into the sort of SpongeBob pre-established narrative of the last two movies that they have followed, it was kind of a letdown, I gotta be honest. I was really looking forward to seeing the overall conclusion of SpongeBob's saga, and I was hoping maybe this would be the wrap-up of SpongeBob's story, and we'd maybe pass the torch on to a younger, different character, different underwater creature. But what we got was sort of a rehash of a lot of ideas we've already seen. So if you're a serious sponge head, I don't think you're gonna very much like this movie in the sense of its fitting in with the bigger SpongeBob canon, but when it comes to being a solid SpongeBob movie where you're going to be seeing a lot of the characters you already know, then I think you might find stuff to enjoy in this movie. But overall, I'm going to have to give it only one thumb up, since as a standalone movie it's a good one, but the fact that it didn't really drive home the trilogy and that it wasn't really even part of a trilogy, I think that really hurts SpongeBob, and I hope they do another movie that does wrap up the story of the first and second SpongeBob movie. And so that would be my review for SpongeBob, Sponge on the Run. It's going to get one thumbs up. I think it's fine for kids who aren't really thinking about the overall story arc, but for adults, I'd say I'd skip this one and wait for them to actually release a proper conclusion to the SpongeBob saga. So, I hope you have a nice day, and I'll see you next review.